Hey guys, it's Babu Johnny Tech Review and hope you guys are doing well this holiday season so far. So about 2 months ago, a company called Lumery sent me two products. They wanted me to check it out and I was kind of interested in it because during that time it was about early fall and I wanted to see what I can do in my garden. And also in my front yard I wanted to add some light. I currently have some walk light, some pad light that's kind of damaged and I wanted to change it. And of course the incoming Halloween holiday and now coming up to Thanksgiving, I was interested in to see how this light can help shape and accentuate my outdoor space. The two products they sent me, one of it is this product here. This one is called the Lumery light pad. This one is a kind of like a light cone and there's 6 of these. There are maximum of 60 watt IP65 rating and maximum 65 feet in length. They are spaced out and you can connect them. The other product is called the Lumery Bro, which is kind of similar, but instead of being a cone, it's more of a spotlight and you can kind of rotate. There's 4 cones and you can rotate each of them in different direction. And so you can have them pointing up into the house, pointing down the ground, like the grass, like the way they're doing it here. So this one is also IP65. This one is a little bit shorter, it's about 48 feet and 36 watt rated. So both these products have similar functionality in terms of features. They're touted here as RGB AI. They come with an app. It connected to your Wi-Fi home system. There's some up and down sides to that. I'll talk about that. So here's the remote control of the product. They're exactly physically the same without a button. So what I had to do is put a sticker on one of them to kind of differentiate which one is which. They are RF remote controls. You can just don't have to be pointed directly at the box. But you can just use them that way. So as I mentioned earlier, my use case was in my back garden. I wanted to put some of the light cone where I can have a pad around my garden. And then in my front yard, I can put the spotlight and have it pointing either downward or upward to be able to kind of accentuate either the pathway or my wall. So relating to how these are set up, originally I thought they were more like the low voltage light setup that I have where you can connect to the low voltage setting. But no, these are designed to be standalone and they have a plug. All of the connections are waterproof and rubber gasket so that they can withstand the element. I left them out now outside for 2 months or so and haven't ran into any problem with shortage or anything like that. They connect very well. So then between the unit to install them, they come with metal spike. You will screw them on and spike them in place. You can see in my video here, this is how I set up the front, and then for the back I did the same thing. As far as running the cable, they are big cable, again, probably weather seal. What I did is in the backyard I kind of dig it and run it in the trench, so it's hard to see. So some of the requirement here is that you have to have an outlet nearby where you can run the power to it. So after you physically install them in the ground and you plug them in, all you have to do is get the Lumery app and then you can just go ahead and pair it together. So this is where I could say potentially could be a problem for some user. My setup at home, I use Ubiquiti Wi-Fi and I have pretty good Wi-Fi on the outside. But there are some spotty area, but again, it's pretty close to the house. So in order to use this product, I would encourage you to go outside, take your phone and stand outside and to see if you get good Wi-Fi reception. Because if you don't have good Wi-Fi, this project is going to struggle to be able to connect to your Wi-Fi because that's the main way you can communicate, especially if you want to use the app. Now you're not forced to use the app, of course. You can just plug it in and use the remote control. The remote control has a lot of functionality. Of course, you can pause and run the program. You can change the different mode. You can dim, right? And then you can also change the just the white instead of gold, cold white or warm white. So the remote control will give you a lot of functionality. They'll tell you if you want to do that. And of course, the remote control is RF, so you can be within the proximity and you don't have to point exactly at the box. There is a controller box that you will put away. So the first product I got it roughly around mid-October and I had it installed so that I can use it in the front yard. And that one, it was Halloween season, so for me it was really easy through the app to be able to set up different color scheme, and Halloween being, was it purple, orange, green, etc. So you can set the color theme. And not only the color theme, you can have a ton of different style of animation, or you can also simply have the light as just pure white, cold or warm. Both the device share the same exact software, the Lumery app, and I'll go into detail on the app a little bit. But in the app, more or less what it is allow you to be able to control the product remotely. You can set up timer automation so that it automatically come on and off during the day, stuff like that. And of course you can customize and change the lighting. You can individually address each of the light by different color, or you can set it in a scheme where you can see rainbow mode, you can see fading, flashing, different mode, all kind of fun thing with them. So here's the Lumery app. I have two devices right here. You can see they're both identical, and you can have a lot of different functions. Right now the one in the front is on and the one in the back is off. So I'm gonna go in the function here, and I can go in, let's pick this one for example. Tell you up top there if the Wi-Fi signal is weak, so that's in the backyard, a little bit farther back, so it's a little weak. But here are some of the options you can have under the palette option. The scene, you can see here you have Halloween, and you can actually duplicate them and add more. This is what I was doing before. You can change different ones. For example, right now it's on rainbow. You can go in, make changes to it, different setting here, individual address each of these if it needed to be. There's a bunch of different ones here, so about 8 or 9 different settings and scene. Under the sound setting here, you can also have it sync to music, which is based on the phone microphone. And of course you have here the scale, if you want to do like a time down, timer like that. Go back to this option. This is where you can manually customize. So for example, you can select green here, for example, and you can change all of them, or you can change just individually. And this is a brush, or you can take this one here for example and do green down, right, red down, and you can save this scene if you wanted to. Under the main app, just again very reminiscent of the 2-year app, you have the option here to change smart scene. So there's some smart setting here, get energy, features and stuff like that. You have to pay for some of these functionality, by the way. Under scenery, for example, I had just set for Halloween to come on around 5:30 or something like that. From the app perspective, it's a pretty simple setup, not a lot of option here. When I look at this app versus something like Groovy, Groovy has a lot more option and customizable scene that you can download. This is pretty basic, but it gives you enough customization here to do a few different scenes if you want to do that. For the backyard, I have the cone, and the cone was cool because at night, when we're sitting outside relaxing in the early fall, it was chill and cold enough. While we have a fire, we can have it on and being very dim, like a nice warm color, or you can have it more fun where it's dancing with bouncing color and with music and that kind of thing, and that's also another option. Again, with the Wi-Fi, just keep in mind that if you don't have good Wi-Fi, this could be a challenge, especially if you want to use automation, because the automations are cloud automation, and you will need the connect to the cloud server to do that. Next, I want to talk about the color and brightness. So the light themselves are really bright. You can go very bright at night, and of course in the dark condition in my backyard, it looks really good. Necessary for mood setting, you don't really need to go that high, so I usually set it 30-40% to get that mood light. For the RGB and color, they're great, they're fun, but it can also be a little bit of like a clown whimsical, so it just depends on your vibe and your mood, right? If you are playing music and having a dance party, whatever it is in the backyard and in the front yard, that's cool. But if you want it to be quiet and a little bit less minimal, then you can use the warm and cool color. The light does not flicker. Maybe on a camera you might see some flickering, but in real life there's no flickering, anything like that. Finally, moving to durability. Again, I don't test durability by stepping and running all of it, but the wire more or less installed on the ground. It's been kind of on and off, raining, weather has been kind of crappy, and it's been working perfectly fine. I have to see in 6 to 8 months whether this thing will stay up with the element, but from what I can see with the construction of the wiring and all the plug, it's all gasket with silicone, so I think that's going to be perfectly fine for long term. Pricing wise, when I was looking at these, the pricing was ranging somewhere between like $120 to $250. Right now there's a sale around this holiday season. The company told me, I'll put the information in the description box down below so you can guys take a look at it. But more or less I think they have them on between $129 to $149. I don't know the exact numbers. I saw it through an email. I'll post the link in the comments so you guys can see it. If you're looking at these light and you're looking at the pricing, it's pretty comparable to some of the other units out there in the market. What I like about this light is that it's purely, most of it is made out of metal, of course, which is really good. Some of the connections are, of course, the wire and stuff, the plastic stuff like that, but the light is well built. The remote control is well laid out. It's a pretty typical remote control, so no concern there with the remote control. It works fine. Take 2 AAA battery, by the way. And finally, in terms of interface, it's pretty easy to use. If you use 2-year app before, this works fine. And then last note is aesthetic. For me, both these lights, the cone light and the spotlight, they are pretty big. So depends on how your lawn and how you want your outside space to look. This could kind of stick out, right? So it just depends on what your aesthetic and what your views are in that area. For my wife, she doesn't really like the spotlight that much up front. They really stick out and stand out. I think it just depends on the style of your garden and your backdrop. It might work for you. The spotlight looks really good in the back because they're blending well. But again, these are really big spotlight, unlike, you know, some of the smaller solar panels and solar things that are pretty small. These are pretty big, so they're gonna stand out. So if that's not a concern for you based on the look of the video you see, that's an option. To be honest, they could have made it smaller. I think the company chose to make it big, but because all the smart thing and everything is in that little tiny controller box. So for me, there's definitely opportunity for you to make it smaller, but I think this is just the design that they went with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick review of my Lumery light experience. If you guys have any question, please leave it in the comment box down below. Thumb up for the like and consider subscribing for more future content. Thank you.